Dear viewers, welcome back to the show Deen and Duniyah. My name is Rahma Mustafa Goni, and as you know, this is a program where we talk about interesting issues around us, issues that most people will find it uncomfortable to talk about them. We are bringing them onto the table and find solutions. Today, we have for you a topic that is very dear to my heart, which is single and hopeful. And I have with me in the studio a special guest, Barrister Zulekha Yusuf. She is the author of Coping Mechanisms in a Difficult Marriage. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have my co-host, who is Abdul Rashid Abdul Fattah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, single and hopeful. So we know that singles are men, women, but for women, she can be maybe a widow, a divorcee, or some people that have never been married. So there is this thing where most of our girls are being raised with the mentality that marriage is the ultimate goal and nothing else. They don't actually show them that marriage is only one aspect of your life, which is important, but then it's not your whole life. And they will tell us that, okay, since you're not married, you shouldn't get that degree, you shouldn't get that PhD, you shouldn't buy that car, you shouldn't buy that house, and wait until you're married. It's like you should pause your life until somebody comes and sweeps you off your feet or something like that. So I don't know. If maybe Allah says you're not destined to get married, does that mean you should be miserable your whole life and you don't have any purpose? You're worthless? Because there was a father that told his daughter that if you're not married, you're just useless. Just imagine this coming from a parent. So what can we do? How can we cope with these things?
He starts from.
Well, I think that this program is timely, because like you said, for a very long time, we've taken marriage as the be-all and the end-all of a woman's life, and it's not the truth. We are realizing now that, everybody has a life purpose, male or female. When Allah talks about us in this dunya, how we should strive, He talks about mu'minin and mu'minat, qanitin, qanitat, abidin, abidat. He doesn't just say, men, go and strive, and women get married and that's all. And this is the missing link. What we are doing right now is the missing link of all the marital challenges that we're seeing in our ummah today. The stories are devastating. Every time there's a story of a badly turned out marriage, of divorce, of domestic violence. The problem starts from when everybody is single. So it's very timely that we're even doing this now. Now we need to change this perception, that you should just aspire for marriage. The fact is, who are you before marriage? You are a human being before marriage. After marriage, the person you are, it is who will determine how you turn out in marriage. So for singles, it is very important for them, even before marriage, to identify themselves, to find a life purpose, what you are going to work for the rest of your life. And in worshiping Allah, there are many facets to it. It could be through your marriage, it could be through your parenting, it could be through your job, it could be through your career, whatever it is. So that idea that you were talking about is very faulty. A father who says to his daughter, without marriage, you are nothing, is prepping her for problems, even if she eventually gets married. It's the kind of father whose daughter will have problems and say, this is what I'm going through, trying to find succor with her parents, and he's saying, no, just go back. Whatever you are facing, die there. So that's where the problem is. And we need to change this orientation in the ummah so that we can avoid all the sad stories we hear today, because really it's disheartening. The statistics are too high. The rate of divorces, the rate of crashed homes, the rate of divided families, and the children suffer for it. So we always say that we should start from the core, because a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. Let's start from the beginning. Let people know who they are. Let people find their essence in life before they even come to partner with somebody else to bring forth the next generation. So, for singles, it's a very timely message.
The thing is that it has been happening for a long time. If you think about it, right from when they said even taking a female child to school is like wasting your money, because you will still go to another man's house and all that.
No need.
So it's like this thing it is deep. It is deep into the subconscious of, it's in the African mindset.
Orientation.
So where do we even now begin to start opening that mindset from that? Look, it is your like the other time they said marriage is not supposed to complete you, it complements you. So it now in fact, one thing I have noticed is these days the amount of of heartbreak, of breakfast that people have collected is too much, especially in teenagers, because now you would, let me say, 9 in 10 teenagers will tell you that love is a scam. 9 in 10 men will tell you that women are scum. 10 in 10 ladies will tell you that men are scum.
Men are bad. All
So
men are bad.
you won't even know where to start from. I mean, you okay, and then when you now look at it, you see that the thing is, people's preferences and their priorities is now another problem. The youths of today, the priorities that we have, it now leads us to having bad preferences or not really so good preferences, which now leads to bad choices. So it's now, sometimes you begin to, okay, with all the husband materials, like, see me now, a husband material. You see me here now, but you will not come to meet the husband materials like us, and then you go to meet those men.
Well, we can't tell. It's not written on the
You know,
face who is
exactly,
going to
that
be
is
a bad
another
husband.
There are
problem.
these things they tell girls, like, you cannot, just because you're single, you cannot make a mistake. But you make any mistake, they'll be like, is that how you're going to treat your husband?
Is that what you're going to do
Is
in
that
your
what you're going to
husband's
do in your
house?
husband's house? I remember one time when I actually went to a conference. So we were in the queue waiting to be served. So somebody was in front of me. So there was an instruction to the caterers that you shouldn't serve anybody more than one portion. So the man now said he wanted to have swallow. And the girl gave him one wrap. So he was like, no, I don't want one.
No,
As a big man, all you give me
She was
one.
like, "Sir, I'm sorry. This is the instruction. You can only have one. You can have other things
other
as
things,
variety,
but
then
just
please
one."
just take this one." And then he looked at her and was like, if it is your husband, is it the way you're going to
you're
serve
not
him?
my husband. Like that.
I was just, and she was like, "Sir, sorry, I'm sorry." I just went to meet her and I was like, "My sister, you're following instruction, right?"
You need to
I said, "Yes."
apologize.
I said, "You need to keep your job, right?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Sir, please, since she's sorry, it's not even called for you to be telling her these things." I said, if he doesn't want, please just move on. Serve another person. I'm here. I mean, like, why?
And they throw that at women a lot. That is why you're not. And if you even have problems later, and you are now single again, you know, some allusions are going to be made to, okay, so it was this your hot temper that removed you from your husband's house.
They always make
It was because
reference
of
to
this you are not. That's why she's not married. Either, you know, like, let's say you are even a teacher in a school and you are a harsh person, they'll be like, oh, that woman, that's why she's a
her
divorcee.
husband left her.
You know, that kind of thing. So we need to stop this stigmatization. We need to stop. The pressure is too much for girls. Once you are 18, 19, 20, you know, like, the clock is just ticking. It's ticking. And for men nowadays too, it's almost the same thing. Everybody is asking. You go for your cousin's wedding, your sister, everybody is asking, when is it you're going to be? When is it going to be? And so it makes people desperate. And so my message to singles basically is, don't be desperate, because that desperation has led to so many bad choices. Some people got married because they wanted to leave the situation at home. I'm sorry, some people come from, you know, dysfunctional families. You know, maybe where there's domestic violence, or the father is never around, or there are issues that are unresolved, polygamy, you know, things like that. So they just want an escape, you know, and then they go from a bad situation to an even worse situation. So for singles, it will not be nice to be desperate, and it is very important to be grounded.
Like you mentioned, that there is pressure maybe from family, from friends, and all that, and sometimes maybe self-inflicted pressure. So that makes them, I feel like, okay, let me just get married for marriage's sake, and there is no proper investigation. I heard about a girl. She was actually 20 or 22, or thereabouts, and so they did investigate. They did not do anything, and they married her off to, I think, a 70-year-old man. So it wasn't her choice. So now, after I think few months, the man got sick, and he passed. So it was after his death that they realized that he was actually taking drugs for HIV. And they didn't even know. She didn't know. Apparently, the other wives knew about it since.
And so they didn't want to have anything to do with him again.
So her parents did not investigate, no any test, all these things. And then they found out that she was positive as well. So there's no
That is like another whole cascade of problems on its own.
So she was like that, and then somebody even came with the same condition, saying he was going to marry her, and she was like, she's never going to get married in her life. Just look at it. At this age, they traumatized her. Crushed her dreams.
She'll be in trauma, and you know, and this is where the role of the parents come into. Families need to do their work. Families need to. I know that these days, you know, material. He's rich. He has property. He's, you know, material very important, of course, because he needs to be able to take care of his family, but that should not also be the only criteria. Investigations, it should even arouse your curiosity as to why would somebody of this age be wanting to marry,
to actually get
somebody
married.
that is
That's
great
another
granddaughter's
thing.
age.
I don't
So
know. I don't want to call it a problem, but there is this thing of an uncle coming from somewhere and saying he wants to marry you hear a lot of cases where the girl is already in love or the boy is already
somebody
in
else,
love
yeah.
and with the lady, and then one uncle or one elder
Late comer.
cousin will just come from somewhere and say that give me your daughter, let me marry. And sometimes for the sake of family ties and all that, those stressful things,
yes,
they will
yes.
now eventually marry her off. Now, someone that is already in love with someone else,
Yeah.
number one, it will be extremely difficult to stay faithful.
Yes.
Number two, she will not be happy
Her mind
in
is
that
somewhere
marriage. Her
else.
mind is somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if it is actually real, the guy himself too will not want to let go.
Yeah.
It's like, and although people make fun of it these days, that someone should just come and give me 10 million and tell me to leave their daughter alone, that kind of thing. But it really devastates us. It really hits people
Although
hard.
they call them late comers.
Latecomers, they will come and dominate the whole space. So it's not like, okay, there are people that don't believe in going for someone that is way too younger than you are. So they want to marry their age mate, someone that they can have fun with, someone they can play with, that kind of thing. So it's not like and then the narrative is that like, for example, they'll tell you that your wife has not yet been born. That kind of thing. That
She has to be way younger
that
than you.
she exactly. And to me, personally, I believe it doesn't.
Everybody-
With all due respect, it does not make any sense.
Everybody has
You should be able
preferences.
to have you should be able to go for what you want. It's not, sometimes your parents will be like, according to how they have been brought up, according to what they have seen.
What you
So
can
it's now
control.
difficult for a
I
lot
think
of
the
teenagers these days.
The reason why that male-female age gap is there is so that you can control her, so that she will not, your classmate, there's this C finish,
Yeah,
their
that's
mates.
C
So
finish.
I think that's so. But parents need to prioritize, the choice of the girl to, if she has a responsible person. I'm not saying somebody should bring a drug addict and all that, but if the person she prefers is better, because we have in our own tradition, Islamic traditions, a girl went to the Prophet and said her father was trying to marry her to somebody else, and then he said, why don't you obey your father? She said she didn't want, and then he said, okay, you can have a different choice. And then she said she would obey her father, but she just wanted the whole world to know that you have a choice as a girl. So
And that's not what she
it's not in
wanted.
Islam that a girl has to just marry who she doesn't want.
Dear viewers, it's still the show Deen and Duniyah, and the topic is single and hopeful. We'll now take a short break and we'll be back. Still the show Deen and Duniyah. So we've been talking about single and hopeful. These days people are not even aware, leave even knowing themselves. They don't know. There's no self-awareness most of the time, and they don't even know what to look out for in a potential spouse. Maybe if you've gotten, sometimes some people might be good. They'll say, this is a good person, why not marry him and all that. But maybe you do not have what they want, or they do not have what you want. So it's like, okay, just jump into it. So what are the things that you're supposed to look out for even before saying yes to anybody?
Of course, because from our own Islamic tradition, we already know the priorities that the Prophet ﷺ told us that we should choose, Deen, character. But this issue of character is very important. A person can be very religious, very pious, be a good worshipper, but not have some certain characters, basic characters, kindness, respect for parents, respect for family. Some people are not family oriented at all. They don't know what it means, to be affectionate towards wife and children. So you will see women in some homes that they don't want to talk. Wives of clerics, that are feeling strangled in their marriage, but they cannot talk because the man is seen as a public figure. Everybody loves him. He's charismatic and all that. But at home, so that character is very important. Very important. Compatibility is an issue, whether we like it or not. People say, "Oh no, just forget." As long as he's a good Muslim, just forget. Compatibility is, like you rightly said, you may not be his specification, what he wants. He may not have. There are some dreams and goals you have that do not align with his own. So you cannot force it. It causes problem in marriage where this is the direction this person wants to go, and then the other spouse is not feeling it.
But what about
So-
compassion? You know, that you say, okay, you do this for the sake of I love
Yeah,
you,
of
for
course,
the sake
people
of the person
sacrifice.
that you love.
People do sacrifice, but there's an extent to which sacrifice can
can
go.
go.
You know, even if you do of love, there's an extent to which love can go.
Sometimes the mistake is they do not talk about these things to know if it is the person they want before falling in love.
Falling
Yeah.
in love.
So
That's
you're
what we
already
say.
in love
Yeah.
now.
Before-
Then you find out that this is not even the type of
There was
person I
this-
want, and that is where the heartbreak comes.
And this is why premarital counseling is
Yes,
important, and even
important.
before you ever start a relationship, to be already grounded on who you are. You know, this I keep talking about this. You have to know who you are, your life purpose, your whatever it is you want to achieve in life, the way you want to live it. You have to know it before you ever meet anybody, because this is where the problem is. So you just fall in love. You know, love. They say love knows no. You can fall in love with somebody that is totally wrong for you. Sometimes I see a young girl. She's so beautiful. She's from a good home, and I'm seeing her working with somebody that lives very, very obviously very responsible. And I'm like, what are you seeing in him? You know, but it's love.
But at the
you
end,
know?
they will tell you it is love. There was this
Yeah.
situation that I told
So-
the parent, see, don't tell me you're in love. If your boyfriend before marriage, if he has the audacity
Yeah.
to raise his hand and hit you, my
hit
sister,
you.
run.
Beat,
Because why would you tell me you're in love?
In love. She
Because
said she's in
you're not
love.
even married
I
and
love him.
your boyfriend is telling you to kneel down because of what?
Yeah.
Please.
And asking you to do
They
things
tell
that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
You know,
When
if you
you
have a
just
sense
say
of
feeling of
self-worth,
love.
self-confidence, nobody should tell you to force it. But a lot of girls, you know, people do. It's just like even this money craze we're talking about. Many of the young boys why do they want so much money so quickly? To flex, to show their girlfriends to show their babes that yes, I have a ride and all that. So all these things matter. When you are forced to do things in a relationship that you know are not ideal, it is wrong. So for singles, my advice is for them to have a sense of self-worth first, to know where they are going in life, and also to not forget to look out for the red flags and avoid them. Many married people saw a lot of red flags before marriage, and they still went into it because of love. They were blindfolded by
All
so
in
many
the name
other
of
issues.
love.
Another important thing is, especially now, for example, you're a girl and you're reaching, maybe approaching 30 or something like that, or maybe you're grown, you know, to a certain extent,
They graduate already.
more than maybe what the society wants you
Wants
to,
it
you
to
know.
be.
So they'll be like, she's not married because she's possessed.
Nah.
Maybe Jinul Ashik or something
No.
like that.
Spiritual
has married
problem.
No, we
exactly.
should bring
Spiritual.
up
And maybe you
some
don't even
issues
have that
about
problem
it.
at all. And you see that some people might even go to an extent of falling into shirk. They take you to
Go and
Allah.
look
Yeah,
for
the
one
desperate
babalawo
mothers.
to-
The mothers go to, and that's not the solution, you know, because I know somebody very close to me who actually even before the marriage they had gone to, you know, to consult a diviner and all that, and he said that no, this is the person she's supposed to marry. This person, and at the end of the day, that marriage was very terrible, very terrible.
Maybe
I'm like,
Allah
so
has
you didn't see.
destined that maybe she's going to get married at a certain
If
age.
she had been
So why
patient.
would you tell her that she's possessed?
Yeah.
And now you've
That's-
you've put something in her psychologically that okay, I have problems.
Anytime
You have a
something
problem.
comes up, her mind
And when
goes
you
back to
think that you have a problem, you will have it. So that's the we need to remove
you
all
know-
these things from our
But
mind.
also tell guys that look, some guys are like, because of that low self-esteem, low self-worth, the moment a pretty lady she'll actually show interest that she actually likes him too, that man, he holds on and he starts to simp. He's like he's always at her beck and call, anything, see,
For her
I'm your
beauty.
slave and all that.
Yeah.
And I tell guys that they are fine women everywhere. Look, no matter what you do, it's like you say you're driving a Benz in Abuja. You will buy this Benz today, and tomorrow you will see another one that's
later
better
model.
than yours. So it's not don't bank
Dwell.
all your hope on no, she's too fine, I can't let her go.
Yeah.
So definitely there are you will not
So what if the
get
beauty
exactly
fades?
what you exactly.
Yeah, what if the beauty fades?
What
What
are
if
now the
something
other
happens?
things that will keep that love standing, or that will keep that marriage standing? So being single, it's not. Don't just look at
The beauty is very
falling
important,
in
but
love.
then you shouldn't focus only
Only on
yeah?
that.
Exactly.
Character matters.
It's equally very important,
Yeah.
but the fact that people will pinpoint all their energy at that. She's
Yeah,
fine. I
beauty,
cannot. I
beauty,
can't.
beauty,
And then jealousy will now set in. Oh my God, jealousy.
She cannot
in-
talk to another man. Possessiveness, yeah.
So there is this person that actually they went into a new apartment with her parents, and so they gave her one tiny room in the house. And the reason was, she's not going to stay long in the house again. So that means simply because one day you're going to get married, so you shouldn't be comfortable in your house.
You're
So
counting
some
days.
people actually complain that
So she'll feel rejected already.
because they're
Rejected
of
already from the
age,
family.
they will see disrespect from their siblings, and the parents would not caution them simply because you don't want to get married, you don't want to get married, and so their houses now become, their homes become like
Prison
Hell
for
for
them.
them.
So anybody that comes, yeah. So
So
that's
anybody that comes, they're ready
so this
to
is the
go.
role of the family too. The family have to provide support to singles. And when I'm talking about singles, it's not even just those that have not yet married. Those that married and for circumstances beyond their control, divorce, widowhood, they came back to being single again. Some too, you will go back to your parents' house and you will not be comfortable. There is people
that
will rain
stigma
you,
will be there.
a lot of things. Anything you do, they'll be like, that man, that was why she couldn't be in her husband's house, and you have to be walking on eggshells because you cannot be free. The society sees, and then many single against sisters. I wrote a book titled The Realities of Divorce. Now, okay, I've written 3 books. I have red flags in relationship before marriage. And when I did that, I did it with a seminar, and a lot of people were saying, yes, we saw these red flags and we're married. So what do we do now that we are in difficult marriages? So I wrote coping mechanisms in a difficult marriage, because some people don't want divorce. They just want a change in the circumstances. And then even after that, some people still go ahead that, okay, there's no way out, we have to. So I do the realities of divorce based on narrations from single against sisters that are interviewed. And it is not funny. They cannot tell you what they are going through, but it is not funny. There is a lot of problem. There's financial problem. There's sexual frustration. There is loneliness. There is stigma from family and friends. There's a lot of things that single against. So we need to consider them. We need to be empathetic. Empathy is very important. Whatever somebody's situation is, don't just look at her and say, why is she single? Or her mates are, look at her younger sister is married, her younger cousin is married, and this and that. Let's not be like that.
doing anything bad.
Yeah. So there's a lot of role that others have to play. The singles themselves have to have that self-confidence. You know where you're going, and you know what your relationship with your creator is, and you know that he has a time for everything. Even as you are making dua, you know that Allah knows. It's like somebody that wants a child. You may have it eventually, but there's a specific time for it. So that's how it is. And then for single against sisters again, there's sometimes this desperation. Let me just remarry, because people are already looking at me as if maybe I'm doing some immoral things and all that. It doesn't work that way. We need to try as much as possible to provide support. The woman needs to do better. The woman needs to do better. There's too many such stories. And then we want people to share stories of happy marriages. Singledom, how you transited from singledom to marriage and all that. We need to hear.
We need to hear those so that we can look forward to.
So that the people in marriage don't feel frustrated, and then the people that are coming in don't feel scared of going into marriage.
Exactly. You see husband materials like us now,
don't worry,
we are not sure where to look.
And there's a list waiting. I'm sure after the program.
It's still the show, Deen and Duniyah, and the topic is single and hopeful. So we'll now ask our dear guests to tell us, we as the single people, what can we do? What can we look out for? What are the right things to do?
So he was mentioning, for instance, not to focus on some wrong things like money, like beauty. What I will also say is that be the quality you want. Some people be like, I want somebody that he has memorized the entire Quran. I want somebody that is intelligent. I want somebody that is focused. Be like that. You cannot be a girl that is just a slave queen, and then you say you want somebody that is very focused, very this and very that.
There was this idea that you cannot be tell me that, okay, love me for who I am when you're rude, you're unruly and all that.
Habits.
Exactly.
When you have bad habits, build yourself.
So nobody likes nonsense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to be who you want.
And it's wrong for somebody to say, you have to accept me like that. Me, I'm naturally hot-tempered. Even my parents know. No, please. If you have any bad habits, please drop them.
Exactly.
As
Find
a
a way to
single
be a better person.
Find a way to always try to be a better person. Drop whatever bad habit. Pick good habits. If you want to marry somebody that is focused, that has a good direction in life, be that kind of person too. If you want somebody that is going to be, a kind father and all that, be that kind of person too. That everybody
a kind mother.
Kind to children, kind to elderly ones. There are some people that when you just know that they are amiable, their personalities are good. So try as much as possible to develop your personality. Good. Allah says, is there any reward for good other than good? If you are good, inshallah. We know, of course, sometimes good people suffer. I know sisters that are very good. When I look at them, I'm like, why are the men not, but it can be a trial. Everything is a trial, by the way. Exactly. That's something I want to tell singles again. Being married is a trial. Being not married is a trial. Having children is a trial. Not having children is a trial. Every stage that you are in is a test from Allah on how you are going to prove. So whatever stage you are in, just be confident, just trust Allah, and then try as much as possible to be a better person.
Inshallah.
And then when you see red flags, please don't close your eyes due to love. There are some red flags that are very obvious. He's hot-tempered. He doesn't respect family. He's stingy. So many things that you will see, and you will know deep within your heart that this is not going to work. But we always say a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. So it is better for you at that point. Try to detach yourself.
Just collect the breakfast now, so you'll be happy later.
And then seek advice and listen to advice. So
Thank
that's
you very
basically
much for
my
this advice. So please, the married people,
single
please
people.
share your success story so that the single people would like to get married. So if for the single people, be self-aware, work on yourself, and live your life unapologetically. Because I'll tell you that being single is one of the greatest seasons in your life. Thank you very much for taking our invitation. And inshallah, we hope that you're going to come over.
It's a pleasure
next time.
to be
Next
here.
time.
It's a pleasure to
Alright,
be
so
here.
dear viewers, it's still the show Deen and Duniyah, and our topic has been single and hopeful. So stay tuned for more episodes, and inshallah, we'll talk about them and find solutions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.